Hello everyone, I'm back. I wanted to continue the simple trend trading ideas that I posted before. So I'm going to do a series of videos where you can follow along with some trades that I'm taking. This isn't my main account. My main account, I trade a version of this system but with much higher risk to reward. That has a lot of consecutive losers and quite long drawdowns, and it probably doesn't appeal to most people how they'd like to approach trading. So I've kind of toned it down a little bit, but still relying on the same core ideas for generating an edge in trading. Now, first thing we need to talk about is instruments. You want to select an instrument that trends fairly well. As far as I have seen in 10 years, the yen pairs are a really good option for that. I tend to nowadays just trade yen pairs, but essentially you're looking for something that trends quite consistently. Okay, I'm going to be doing these examples on the dollar yen. I trade my personal account on the euro yen at the moment. So if you're going to follow along with this, they are trades on the dollar yen. So I'm just going to go over the basic ideas that the strategy is built on. If you've watched any of the videos before, you'll know I try to avoid analysis. I try to avoid the idea of precision and over optimization. And I try to use elements like trend and high risk to reward to generate the edge. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is define the trend, and for that I like to keep it simple. I just use a 200 period simple moving average. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you'll see that we've tested whether you want to use a faster moving average or a slower, or you want to use a different indicator. Essentially, then it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. If you've got an instrument that trends well, if you have a fast moving average, you're just going to get in earlier, but you're also going to generate more false signals. In other words, when there's a sustained long trend, your fast moving average will get you out of that and change the direction of the trend when it's just a normal pullback. So there is no optimal in this. You kind of need to pick something simple and something that you're going to stick at. It's a bit like a diet thing here. You can't. There's no right diet for everyone. The diet that you stick to is the one that's going to work best for you. Okay, so keep it simple if you don't want to use the 200 period simple moving average. Once I've defined the trend, I look for short-term momentum in the direction of that trend for the entry. Okay, and as I said, I've tried to pare things down a little bit here, and rather than my sort of aggressive entries, all I'm looking for is the pattern of higher highs and higher lows to set up an entry. So if you look this morning, these blue lines are my sleep session here. Okay, when I woke up in the morning, price broke out, it retraced, and then it broke out again. Okay, so I've got a higher swing low here, and I've got a swing low there, so that's a valid entry for me, and I place my stop under the previous swing low. Really simple. As you can see on this one, it's quite a wide entry, and if I get that, sometimes I will take nested entries, because you can see after here we retraced down again, we made a swing high and we made a higher swing low, and I re-entered on a breakout here. Okay, so I have two longs, one here with a wide stop and one here with a short stop. This sort of element is something that has some discretion to it. You can be as aggressive as you want and take every entry, which is going to give you the potential for the most returns, but it's also going to give you potential for more drawdowns. Or you can be really conservative and just see a single trade through to its completion before you add any more trades, which is great at getting the drawdowns down, but you'll find that when you get those nice trending periods and price really moves, you don't really make the most of them, or you can find something somewhere in between, which is kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to add to trades if price is moving nicely. If it's kind of consolidating in an area, then I'll be a bit more cautious with how I add. So that's the basic entry model, and now I'm just going to go over the management and profit targets. Now, for this strategy, what I wanted to do was use a trailing stop. Okay, seen a lot of testing on trailing stops. There's pros and cons to it, but if you're trend trading and you're trying to make a high average risk to reward, trailing stops is a good way to sort of maintain a high average, because every now and then you're going to catch a really big winner, but at the same time you can protect some profits if they turn around on you. So I'm only ever going to exit with a trailing stop, and the only really real management rule on that is I'm not going to instigate it too soon. So I'm kind of looking for about 2R before I move to break even, and then I'm going to trail stops under the swing lows. Okay, so this sort of swing low, swing high is the sort of backbone of the entry system. It's also going to be the backbone of the management system. And that's it. So with the trailing stop as well, I'm going to start wide, and as the profit builds and it moves further in my favor, I'm going to become more aggressive with how I trail that stop. But I'm only ever going to get out on a price retracing and hitting my trailing stop. Okay, that's it. Really simple, and it's quite an easy one for me to sort of manage alongside my own trading, because it's not generating too many entries. There's not too much management to do, and hopefully I'll be able to post regular videos, maybe even every day. I might miss the odd day, but I'm determined to kind of get back into the routine of posting here regularly. So that's it. Follow along. Let's see how we go. I know it's not going to make massive returns, but I also know that it's unlikely to sort of generate particularly high drawdowns either. I think if the dollar yen trends fairly nicely, I should see some fairly decent, consistent returns. And well, let's see how it goes, and see if we learn anything along the way, any ways that it can be improved. Any comments, post them below, and thanks for watching, and it's quite good to be back.